So I wanted to share this really cool story that goes along with the rounding that we've been doing. And this is a story by another teacher named Mr. Walker. And he has used the Cinderella story to help us to understand how to better round our numbers. We're still going to do the same things we've been doing in class, but this is just another way of thinking about your rounding other than calling it, underline the place, go next door, and talk about your bossy neighbor to see what they're going to do. Same thing, just another story to go along with it. So, first of all, you're going to locate Cinderella. And just ignore the fact that this number goes all the way to the millions over here. You could just pretend like you're looking at 365,429. But in any number, Cinderella is always the digit that is underlined. And so right now we would be rounding to the 10,000s place because they've underlined the 6, which is in the 10,000s place. And so, of course, you would just look to your directions to tell you what place Cinderella is in. And you'd underline it, just like we've been doing. Next, you go next. What we call going next door is actually going to be called the Fairy Godmother. So Cinderella, as you know in the story, can't go to the ball without some help from the Fairy Godmother. And your Fairy Godmother is going to be the number to the right after your underlined digit. And the Fairy Godmother always comes in on Cinderella's right, and she's a little round, so we're going to circle the Fairy Godmother. So now we've got the problem set up just like we're used to. We're underlining the place we're told to round to, and we're circling the digit next to it. Now, to get Cinderella to the ball, just like in the fairy tale, the Fairy Godmother needs a bit of magic. But it all depends on the power in her wand. So, her wand, if it has a 5 or more, so in the circled digit, if it's a 5 or more, then you can think about the fact that she has enough power to change Cinderella and kind of bump her up to the next level in life of being a princess. But if her wand is 4 or less, then Cinderella is out of luck and will stay the same girl, just scrubbing the floors and getting bossed around by her evil stepsisters and stepmother. So in this number, we can see that the Fairy Godmother has enough power to change Cinderella because, like our earlier rhyme, it's a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so it can make the 6 climb the vine. Another way of thinking about it is because it's a 5, which is a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, her wand has enough power to promote or increase Cinderella into a princess. And when the godmother uses her power to dress up or promote Cinderella, her number goes up by 1, so that 6 is going to change to a 7. So you'll see nothing else in the front has changed. The Fairy Godmother's job is done, and her power is all gone. So she used up all her power to change that 6 to a 7. So now she's going to disappear, which means her circle will turn to a 0, and so will everything else past her circle. So once the Fairy Godmother does her job, poof, she's gone, and so are the other numbers after it. And then the sisters are still going to hang out following around Cinderella. And so the sisters would be whatever digits happen to be in front of your rounded underline digit. And so they'll just still get copied onto your paper, just like we've always talked about copying the digits until we get to the number line. So in our final answer, the sisters or the numbers got copied until we got to the decision line, which was Cinderella. Cinderella got promoted to being a princess and could go to the ball, and everybody else turned to a 0. This is a situation where if this number had been a 3, she would not have had enough power. And so she would have still tried and then just had to go away and turned everything to a 0. But Cinderella would get stuck still being the girl who's made to do all the chores and to be bossed around by her step-family. And so there you have it again. The numbers in the front stayed, the sisters stayed, Cinderella stayed Cinderella. She didn't get to go to the ball, and everything else became 0.